good. All right, good to go?
Mm-hmm.
We got Mike Story in the house. How you doing? Ready to talk football or
football
what?
season.
We had
college football week 0 this past weekend.
week 0.
It was exciting. UNLV, they were a 30-point favorite. They barely squeaked out a win.
Yeah, I lost both my bets, so I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
You told me about those bets, you asshole. Fuck you. All right.
An auspicious start to the year, but
This is how to approach risky players. A little quick segment with some of the new news items going on here. I got 5 names that are really tough click right now. And we're going to start with Rashee Rice. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. It seems like it's been a little more positive. The 10 games has kind of been pushed down to 8, where they might appeal and get 6 games. We don't know. So right now, I've done 4 PPR Fantrax leagues, money leagues. I have all the ADP from just those drafts. I don't trust necessarily the ADP that the site gives me, but I do trust what I've actually seen in my leagues, right? So he's been averaging around ADP 60. That's too early for you?
I don't know anymore because I was thinking about this over the weekend, and we actually don't know what the legal process looks like for Rashee Rice, right? So the fact that this is not even being scheduled until October is interesting to say the least. But how many times have we seen with the legal system where it just gets delayed and delayed and delayed? And what are the chances that Rashee Rice doesn't even get a trial until February or June of next year or something along those lines? So there's a possibility that, yeah, you lose him for 8 games. I think there's a possibility that he doesn't get suspended at all just because of the machinations of the legal system. So why does ADP 60 is probably still too high, especially considering
End of the 5th, early 6th.
Yeah, it's probably still too high considering the way that Xavier Worthy looked at the end of last year, how comfortable the Chiefs offense looked with him around. And like I said in a previous instance, I don't know how much the Chiefs want to rely on and how to install all these packages for Rashee Rice without actually knowing whether he's going to be there for 11 games, 13 games, 9 games, what it is. So I think 60 is too high. I would say if he dropped into the 70 to 75 range, that's where I'd start to consider it. But realistically, like 80 plus seems like it's reasonable. You can't throw this guy in your IR. That's the big concern, right? So now you're talking, if you got shallow benches, even if you don't, like your opportunity cost of not being able to pick up that next breakout wide receiver or that backup running back, you're losing opportunity there.
I think a big factor is if you know going in, depending on how the draft's falling, that you're going to wait at quarterback, for instance, you can get away with drafting Rashee Rice because you're going to have a bench receiver that's good. If you take an early quarterback, you can't think about taking Rashee Rice because if he does get 8 games, 10 games, you're looking real shitty at wide receiver 3.
Well, how do we know that Rashee Rice is going to be the same player he was for those first 3 games coming back into this year after missing all of the majority of last year? Yeah, he's been in training camp, but at some point, like, he's going to miss a good chunk of the year, be away from the team, being away from whatever they're installing in the middle of the season. 3 games. Like, we're basing all of this off 3 games, and we forgot. I'm like, why is Xavier Worthy being pushed so far down and Rashee Rice so far? Like, why is Xavier Worthy, why are we hanging our hat on 3 games that Rashee Rice did and not what Xavier Worthy? I don't understand that at all. It's a small
They should
sample
probably go
size.
closer.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I don't understand like why Rashee Rice is so celebrated and Xavier Worthy, who had just as productive a 3-game
Because he's
set.
a string bean and people don't like him.
Xavier Worthy?
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Travis Etienne. So 2 days ago, the news, I think it was 2 days ago, they said they're actively shopping either Etienne or Bigsby. For me, it makes more sense to trade Etienne because I know they're definitely not re-signing him. And
No, they're not.
seems
He's
like
gone. He's gone at least after this year. If not
He's like
sooner.
the opposite of a coach's pet. I don't feel like they like him there. He's only averaged
Like a class clown?
Dude, I looked at the last 2 years. Even his awesome year in fantasy, he averaged 3.8 yards per carry. Now, I'm not a yards per carry guy because there's a lot of factors, offensive line. But the dude his vision is he might as well be Najee Harris. Like his vision sucks.
Yeah,
he might as well have one eye.
I have reassessed my analysis on the running back room here. I'm still high on the Jaguars' passing game. I still think that Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter are both going to eat. But I'm very concerned about the running game in general, and even if they do get rid of Travis Etienne, I think you're still looking at a solid committee. So where I had Etienne and Bigsby ranked was way too high. They both dropped significantly in my rankings. The news all around this running back room is just it's all committee. There doesn't, maybe first and second downs. There's no pass catching for Bigsby. They like Tootin, but where does he fit in if they've got ETN? Even if they move one of these guys, I don't know how much value you're going to get on a week in and week out basis. Especially you got Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas. Like, why are you
Who's
running
the
ball?
rookie they drafted too? LaQuint Allen.
Oh, they also out of
too.
Syracuse.
And,
LaQuint Allen.
All right. Hey Kappa, by the way.
Kappa.
Say
Hey
hello.
Kappa.
Help us with the chat
Yes.
because we're going to answer all the questions at the end of each segment. But for ADP wise, for Tootin, Bigsby, and ETN, they've all been falling. I think Tootin's been going higher because he's not talked about in these trade rumors. It's only going to help him. So here's what I got for ETN. First draft was 84, then 94, then 102, then 104.
Okay.
Tootin was 113. Sorry, 136, 128,
good.
130, and then 113 the last draft. And then Bigsby was 109, 132, 106.
Oof, that's a weird jump up.
I mean, these Fantrax leagues are wacky, bro.
So
But I've been drafting Tootin
Okay.
just because both of the other guys are included in the trade rumors.
And where can you get Tootin?
Right now, Tootin about 10th round.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing, though. There is a chance, depending on where they get and which one gets dealt, that it's actually a better situation. Now, it could be a Brian Robinson situation where it's early season definitely not better. They're handcuffed. But if either of these guys go to Dallas, or if Bigsby goes to the Bears, that's probably a lateral move for Bigsby. But ETN going to Dallas, that has to be wheels up.
For Bigsby?
No, for ETN if he goes to Dallas.
Why?
Just because if Jerry Jones trades for a guy, if he pays a guy, he's going to use him. I think he has no ties to Javonte Williams.
Right.
I hate to disperse Javonte Williams. I'm sorry, Kappa. You get what I'm saying? Like, that would make ETN more
I see what
appealing
you're
to me.
saying, but I don't. He's also been linked to Chicago, ETN.
That makes no sense, though. Swift and ETN are similar players. You know what I mean?
Just
Like,
what the trade rumors are about.
Bigsby makes more sense for Chicago. Would you agree?
Yes.
Early down banner.
Yes, I get it.
You put Swift more in the passing down.
That's what the trade rumors are.
So where would you? Are you avoiding all of these guys?
For now, I am. Until we get more clarity. The also concern is, like, if you draft ETN and he goes to a crowded backfield, like Dallas, it's not a great backfield, but it's a crowded backfield. So where does he slot in? How much work is he actually going to get? Is ETN the type of player that can take over a running back room? And the answer is probably no. So now you got a guy that's being installed in a week before the system, or it's installed into a system a week before the season starts, in a running back room where they drafted an upside pass catcher. They got Miles Sanders. They've got Javonte Williams. Where does he actually fit into this scheme?
Right. For the chat, real quick, we're talking about how to approach risky players first. Next segment is going to be the overhyped players. So we got a couple more names here. Moving on. So, is Tootin the guy right now? If you're doing early drafts, that's the guy I've been taking because I feel like his value is only going to go up.
Where can you get ETN? Right
ETN is like he's been falling, but 8th or 9th round.
Okay, that's
Bigsby
a little
Tootin
too.
or 10th.
Yeah, that's a little too hot because your opportunity cost there is still pretty significant. Tootin, where's he going?
Tootin's 10th round.
That even is a little like.
But I like it because late season, if they suck, he's gonna be the guy.
True.
He's
How long
explosive.
can you hold on to Tootin though?
I know.
That's.
Let's move on to Joe Mixon.
Okay.
So Joe Mixon is on the IR now. He's on the PUP. He's out 4 weeks. So
Well, technically, he's not on IR. They have until tomorrow at 3:00 to activate him to
But
the
he's
53-man
going.
roster. All intents and purposes, he's likely out for 4 weeks,
and that's
Or,
minimum.
if not more.
That's like absolute minimum. This seems a lot like I was talking to you earlier about the CMC thing last year, except for we didn't have any news until like the week 1 Monday night game, right? That he wasn't going to play. This is
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
This is worse. This is definitely worse.
Still going RB27.
we don't even know what
overall.
we don't even know what the injury is.
Mhm.
So that's a problem. We know it's a foot injury. We don't know. I saw.
We will know tomorrow when they put him on the IR. They have to tell us what the injury will be.
Right. It's a foot injury, but the specifics of it. But I was listening to a pod. I forget which one. It might have been a Matt Harmon show, and one
Just
of the
a
guys.
foot. Okay.
One of the guys was friends with, and who knows how accurate this is, but was friends with one of the doctors that's working on his foot. And they're doing similar to what McCaffrey did, how he went to Germany to get all that, this crazy,
The platelet treatment or whatever he was doing.
weird stuff. Like, this is a different injury, but like, when they're talking about that, it's almost like holistic stuff. It's not good. So can you draft Mixon right now?
Well, it depends. So
He's been going, so this is before the news dropped, but he's been going 87, 88, and then the last draft I did, which was yesterday, was 108.
Okay, that's a precipitous drop.
Yeah, it's going to go to
that'll put
140,
you
though.
what in the 9th round.
Yeah,
there?
but where is he? Would you even draft him?
So if I have 2 IR spots,
Mhm.
that is where I would consider drafting Joe Mixon. I learned my lesson last year with TJ Hawkinson. I had a league where I got 1 IR spot. I drafted a guy who's not going to be back for 8 weeks. You miss out on the opportunity to put your guys that are dinged up for a week. You know, Alvin Kamara is going to miss 3 games a year. When it is, you don't know. If you got Kamara, like I can't, when he's out, I can't put him on IR because I've got Joe Mixon in there. That's a real problem.
Then you're just going to drop him anyway.
Yeah, so why do you bother drafting him? In this case, in the 9th round, if he falls to the 11th, then, oh man, that's tough. 11, 12, I could see taking a shot on him. It's still one of the worst
here's the
offensive
question.
line. Yeah, okay.
Right now, I know it depends on your build. Nick Chubb or Joe Mixon? Who are you taking first?
Oh, Nick Chubb.
Okay, so then Joe Mixon's undraftable. Is what you're saying.
Is Chubb going behind Mixon?
Well, it'll probably change now, but yesterday I did that 0 RB build.
Yep.
Well, hero RB build, and my first running back, actually I took guys ahead of him, but my starter week 1 is going to be Nick Chubb. I got him in the 12th round. And this is before the news came out, which I'm loving right now. But I feel like Nick Chubb is probably going to settle in the 8th round-ish because we don't know. Damian Pierce is there. Agumba Wally's there.
Fairbairn. The
Woody
kicker.
Marks they like. I mean...
Yeah, I'm trying to see who else is on that roster.
So what are your thoughts on Chubb, real quick? Like, is he worth if you're going wide receiver heavy or early quarterback, you need a guy in a deep league to stop gap for a couple weeks?
I think I'd rather have Jerome Ford.
Really?
Yeah.
Ford's workload seems safer, but like
that's it. Ford's done it before, so
But
Ford is not going to be the guy.
Cleveland sucks.
Yes, but Houston's offensive line is the worst in the league. And
I agree.
They do like Damian Pierce. This feels like a full-blown committee to me. Like Chubb, Chubb has had an amazing career stemming all the way back from Georgia, but dude, under 4 yards a carry last year. He looks like he's cooked, and he's not a pass catcher. There's not a lot for Chubb when it comes to like how many times are they going to be on the goal line for him to punch it in?
I mean, Mixon was a top 5 points per game running back last year.
And Mixon will be the
But
guy
it was
when
the
it comes
pass
back.
catching mostly and the workload, right? But I feel like Chubb could be easily a back end RB2 to start the year. That's what I'm banking on.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Let's see who else is on that.
And the fact is, you're also banking on. This is what we're discounting. I know the injury and how bad he looked last year.
I mean, they could also sign.
You're
somebody.
talking about almost an all timer, right? Not AP level, but Nick Chubb's an all timer,
Mhm.
and he's not that old. So I guess we'll see. He looks like he's in great
He's
shape.
always been a bruiser though. Like,
But fast.
Yeah.
You know, is his speed still there in his lateral?
I don't. Yeah, that's tough to say.
A couple more names here. Juwan Jennings, who contract dispute. Did you know how much money he's making this year?
I do not.
$1.5 million and incentives up to $3 million.
That's it.
And I think he signed a deal going into last year, but it was like a 3 or 4 year deal, so it's like backloaded.
Right.
But this year he's making no money. They can cut him if he gets hurt. So I get why he's holding out. Pay the dude a little bit of money. They're probably gonna. Hopefully they give him like $6 million, and he'll play.
Isn't this
But-
wild that they just went through this with Brandon Ayuk?
They go through it. They went through it Debo the year 2 years before because he wanted to get paid not running back money, wide receiver money. But they're
Right.
like, you're a running back. So what do you do about Joe? Obviously Ricky Pierce all over the moon,
Yeah, he's been-
and this helps Kittle, and definitely in my mind this helps CMC.
Oh, of course it does.
Like
Of
CMC
course
is going
it
to have
does.
so many receptions, dude, as he always does. But so is Juwan Jennings? If you're doing a draft tomorrow, the only news is you've heard both sides of it, but the news I heard is that he's likely to start on the pup.
Well,
Whether that's a team trying
so-
to like force his hand.
So
they're
what
reporting.
his incentives are basically the amount of his contract. So if he goes on the pup, wait, would he go on pup or would he go on IR?
Probably IR.
Okay, so if he's on IR, that's 4 games.
Yeah.
That really digs into his chances to hit his contract incentive, doesn't
Mhm.
it? So is he going to push himself to get back on the
I
field?
don't know, man. It's really weird because it's been flip flopping all year.
Or
in baseball with
also,
these two
is
guys.
San Fran just saying they're going to put him on the IR to kind of force his hand a little bit?
Right. Because then he doesn't get his incentives and he
Right.
can't play for 4 weeks. But why would they do that?
But what's in the water there in San Francisco where everybody ends up on the IR at some point? Like it's tough.
Anthrax.
I don't know.
I think it's anthrax in the water.
Where's he being drafted right now? Because
So he is being drafted in the 3 drafts I've done that I have documented here: 95, 96, and then 104.
Okay,
So
so that's
pretty fucking late.
right in line with the Fantasy Pros ADP.
Pretty late, dude.
Yeah.
Is it worth taking a shot at him? Because there's a chance this is just strictly a contract issue.
Yeah. No, I do think
And,
I think it's worth taking a chance on him because they could put him on IR. I think he's either going to start week 1 or he's going on IR. I don't think you're going to miss 3 games.
Right.
either way, you get a chance. You could put him in your IR slot. So if you can get him in the 10th round, I think that's a good draft spot for him.
So if there was no injury right now, no contract, status quo, him, Pearsall, Kittle, CMC, he'd probably be going in the mid to late 60s, early 70s. Jawad Jennings.
Is that so? He was going ahead of Pearsall at the start of the season.
Pearsall's going 63.
Pearsall has flashed.
So do you think he'd be a 7th round pick, right?
Jennings?
Yeah.
No, not the way that Pearsall's played this offseason.
I get it.
Of course,
but they can both eat,
would he have flashed if Jennings?
And they can both eat.
Yeah, they can because you've got what? George Kittle?
Yeah.
Nobody else. Right
and
now.
I guess the thing is, the weird thing about these early...
Equanimity St. Brown, we found that out.
And I call it early drafts, and we're a week and a half from the season. But with all the uncertainty that I'm naming, like there is risk, but there's also a lot of reward. Like taking chances on Tootin. I've been taking chances on Tootin and Chubb. Like tomorrow, Tootin could be a 6th round pick.
Yeah.
If Jennings signs tomorrow and he's healthy,
the
he
difference
could be a 7th round.
The difference between Tootin is you're looking at the upside there is if one of those guys, ETN or Bigsby, gets traded, you've got a guy whose value is going to increase. The difference with Chubb is you're betting against. You're not buying into injury optimism. You're buying against it,
right.
Which is probably a smart play.
Yeah.
With Jennings, even though I'm talking about like he's probably worth it, that's one of those things like if you buy into a guy who's been hurt, like where there's smoke, there's fire. He's been hurt all preseason. Like I get there's contracts, we don't know the extent of it, but like how often does a guy miss out all of preseason with an injury and come back and actually be a superstar?
Yeah. Real quick in the chat, Liam says it is a Egbuka and Henderson overhyped. That's the next segment coming up here in about 5 or 10 minutes. Stick around. We're going to get to all that. One last thought on Jennings. Are you going to take him? Would you take him at pick 100 tomorrow?
If I had an IR spot.
Okay. Or deep benches, like really deep benches?
No.
Because that doesn't, if you have 8 bench spots, what's the difference?
The difference is, okay, so, I mean, even with 8 bench spots, like I'm looking, you can move around the bottom of the order and get guys that have actual upside. That with Jennings, maybe it's just a mental thing, but 8 bench spots, like I want to be able to utilize all my bench spots. Like I put a guy in IR, he's just staying there, and
right, and you get an extra bench. Okay.
Yeah.
Last guy, Jacoby Myers.
It gives you a slight EV value over the rest of the league. If everybody's got 8 bench spots, but I've got a guy in IR, I've got it.
Yeah. Jacoby Myers, a similar situation to Jennings, not the injury, but he requested a trade today. He's a 30-year-old receiver.
Yeah.
He needs to get paid. He's had 3 awesome years in a row. And they just signed Amari Cooper, so they have a couple rookies. So Jacoby Myers, I was not drafting him already. He's just the ultimate floor play, and I like to shoot for the moon in those 7th, 8th round receivers. Currently going in the 3 drafts I've done, Fantrax full PPR, 12 teamers, 69, 76, and then 91.
Okay.
And 91 was before this news came out. So let's just say his average is 80.
84 here, so
yeah,
something in that range. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Myers now?
Is
it worth taking? Now if he falls to 110 though.
See, this, as we talked about before, nobody's undraftable. It's all about value. In this case, Jacoby Myers, like there is so little upside here versus the other guys you can get around him, right? Like Tyler Warren's going in that area, Ricky Pearsall, Jordan Addison's going behind him. I know you got suspension. Egbuka's going behind him. Why we draft him, Jacoby Myers? Like what purpose does he serve on your team that late in the draft?
Literally, if you wait a receiver, he could be a low end wide receiver 3 in PPR. But is he going to really ever graduate past that?
I don't think so. Especially, Bowers gets hurt. Especially with Bowers there,
and Genty, they're going to run the ball.
Dante Thornton's flashed a little bit. They like him there, right?
And Dante Thornton.
Well, I'm just saying, and then they just signed Amari Cooper. So how much is there realistically for Jacoby Myers?
Not much.
Yeah, I mean, you want 8 to 9 points a week. That doesn't really move the needle for my wide receiver 3. I think you would have to fall into the 120s for me to realistically target him.
All right, want to move on to the next episode?
Let's do it.
Give me a quick pound here.
There it is.
All right, and for all those in the live stream, give us a sub, man. Keep on commenting. Mike Story in the house. We are talking about overhyped players that are maybe not overhyped, but they're getting steamy
players. Worth the hype players because there's a lot of hype. I don't know if this is your first year playing fantasy football. It's tough to cut through all the noise, all the hype that we see year in and year out. I feel it's like this year more so than anything. It's
gotten progressively worse just because now there's so many platforms. You got so many people covering training camp, and every clip is shown, right?
Yes.
Every badass route with no pads is shown. Everything about these guys is reported. So, and it could be also with the negative as well. If a guy bad reports come out, but it's all just smoke.
So before we begin, how do you approach the offseason news then? Not necessarily news, injury news, but like when you see that DJ Moore made a spectacular one-handed catch in grabs when it's 7-on-7s and he's only wearing upper pads. Like, is that something worth paying attention to? Or is it more so, everybody's being hyped up, so it's probably more important to pay attention to the negative stuff that comes out, like Najee Harris's eye injury?
So that stuff I pay attention to, injury stuff. I pay more attention to negative buzz than positive buzz because rose-colored glasses, those kind of things, like coaches, beat reporters, other players, they're going to usually puff people up.
Beat reporters are going to puff people up.
Unless you're Tyreek Hill, who's going to talk shit about his teammates. Usually the negative stuff is way more accurate than the positive stuff. You don't know how accurate it is.
Correct.
We don't.
And coaches lie.
Dante Thornton, we don't know. Can he actually read a playbook? Is he Jalen Hyatt? Like, too much hype. And that's not even a guy we're going to talk about, but that's an example. So I pay attention to that and the injury stuff, man. Like, that is risky. Like, when they're injured, when they're not even playing football yet, and they're going to go into the season injured, I'm out on that one.
I mean, we saw it last year with Brandon Ayuk. We saw it. Who did we see it the year before with? Somebody else had a very similar situation, but it seems like they always start slow. So anyway.
So I got 10 names here.
10? You only gave me 9.
Well,
so
I
you
had
got to surprise me.
Okay. Yeah. So just guys that have been hyped up, and not even because I've been doing best ball drafts since May, and from where I've seen they've been, but even the start of like quote unquote redraft season 3 weeks ago with certain news things and just depth chart pieces and puff pieces where these guys are going now, and it's sometimes getting a little out of control. I have one quick thing for you though that you're gonna love this about the counselor.
Per usual.
So he had a short come out today. Of course, I click on it. It says 3 players. The short was 3 must draft players. You ready for these? Marion Hampton, Emeka Egbuka, and Tyler Warren.
Oh boy.
Like that is just so chalk, and they're also 3 rookies. So if you're gonna go, if he wants you to draft all 3 of those guys in the same team, they're all really, really, really steamed up right now, and they're all rookies. We've never seen them play it down in the NFL.
Have you browsed? Have you browsed through Twitter or X as it's called now?
All people are talking about.
Recently, there's a ton of of content creation, and it feels like it's volume over quality, and it's all about like draft these upside running backs in your late round, and a guy will list 15 and it's just half the league's backup running backs,
and majority of them are rookies.
So like then when 2026 rolls around. And it's, I told you to draft these guys last year.
Yeah, I hit on 4 of them.
Right. Okay. Right.
What about the other 11?
Right. When throwing 17 darts at a board, eventually you're going to hit a bullseye, right?
But it's like you hear nothing about Chris Olave. He's healthy. He played in the preseason. He looked good. He's 25 years old?
You like that pick?
Yeah.
A couple nights ago?
He's 25 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would we be taking Emeka Egbuka? I get like the hype, but like that's they're both going in the same range. And like no one's telling you to draft Chris Olave, and it's always draft this rookie because we haven't seen it. We also we've seen a lot of rookies bust.
True. That is also true.
And Chris Olave is not going to bust. So like, incorporate some safety. All right, we're gonna get to these names. They're good names. First name, I'm gonna go kind of ADP order here. So who's going highest? Marion Hampton's the first guy. He has not quite been. He's been steamed up from the Najee Harris eye injury, so it's been about a month. But he is going around pick 32 in the 4 PPR drafts I've done. 33, 34, 32, and 30 he's gone. So consistently like middle of the 3rd round. I actually don't hate this one. Especially if Najee Harris is out.
I don't either. I mean, so for each of these guys, I've got the yes case worth the hype and then the no case. And then I'll tell you what I actually think. So when it comes to Hampton, great hands, great pass protector. He's got every down ability, right? It's a run-friendly offense. He's got the upside to be a real difference maker in fantasy football. And there's really nothing behind him on the depth chart except for Kamani Vidal and Najee Harris, but we don't know what Najee Harris' status is. So if that's worse than they're letting on, yay, to the moon for Marion Hampton. On the other side, if Najee Harris is back by week 1, which is kind of the speculation now, that limits Hampton's potential right out of the gate. Greg Roman offenses rarely feature a pass-catching running back. We've talked about this. He's regularly ranked 30, 31st, 32nd in passes to the running back. So even in a half PPR, you're looking at not any real pass-catching upside there unless things change. And Rashawn Slater got hurt, which we don't know how that's going to affect the overall offense, let alone the run game.
It's not going to help.
No. All of that said, sounds like more negative than positive. I'm still in on Hampton because he does boast a skill set and an opportunity that could lend itself to a true 3-down workhorse role.
I don't think he's quite the player that we're being sold. He's not like I've heard. He's like some people said he's as good as Ashton Genty. Like that's
I don't
fucking
believe
crazy.
that. No, I don't believe that.
But he is definitely a better player than J.K. Dobbins was last year. Can we agree with that?
Yes.
And J.K. Dobbins in a 60-40 timeshare with Gus Edwards put up high-end RB2 numbers, right? Which is kind of where he's being drafted. So I feel like that's kind of his floor. I feel like he doesn't have crazy range of outcomes. He's going to just kind of be... He's more of a safe guy, where the next guy, Travion Henderson, has much more range of outcomes.
I don't think it's possible for Omarion Hampton to bust barring injury this year.
In the third round, he could bust and be like I said, a mid-range RB2, which wouldn't be a bad bust. Because he's still a workhorse running back. But I don't know the ability, right? Like the play, I know it's preseason, but the play where he's adjusting to NFL speed. He tried to bounce to the outside instead of cutting it up.
We saw that with Gibbs in his rookie year, right? Where he, instead of taking what's given, what's in front of him, what's being blocked for him, he tries to hit the big play, bounce to the outside, get the big play. You get caught by speedy linebackers, right? Or a defensive end that's got a longer reach than you were expecting. We see that time and time again with rookies. So yeah, it could take Hampton some time to adjust to the NFL, but if he just takes what's given to him, I don't see any way that he actually busts in the third round.
So you're in there, you would take him there, or are you like you're not going to reach?
Earlier
than that?
I'd love for him to fall to the fourth. I don't think that's realistic anymore. So I would take him everywhere in the third. Getting into the second is a little too rich.
But is it like a lukewarm? Like you're fine with it? You're not super excited about it there though, but you'll do it.
I'm not, because there's a ton of guys that are going around him, like Alvin Kamara, who's got PPR upside.
Yeah.
Right. Like James Cook. I mean, if you want to go tight end, George Kittle's in that range.
Yeah.
So there's
Tyreek Hill's in that range.
There's enough around him where I'm a little trepidatious, but I'm also worried about. We've talked about it. The guys that I think can burn me if I don't get any of them, and this is one that I'm concerned about missing out on.
All right, next guy. This guy is the steam whistle of steam whistles.
And this is all over, the last week and a half?
Travion Henderson, the 4 drafts I have, he's gone 42nd, 35th, 33, and 26. The last one, last night that I streamed, he went 26.
26 overall?
That's the second pick in the third round. Yes.
Holy crap.
Okay. That's an average of about 34. So again, right around Hampton, that's mid to late second or third round. That's fucking crazy. And here's my thing is a month ago when we did our running back ranks, or it was our running back tiers, right? It was Harvey and it was Henderson, and Harvey was ahead of Henderson. And what's changed besides the preseason highlights?
Oh, it's the hype around preseason.
I'm saying, what has changed? Like, has Harvey?
Was Stevenson hurt?
Yeah, but
okay,
not really.
Okay.
No. I think he's going to be ready. They're just resting him. He's a veteran.
Right.
So maybe that a little bit, but it's not like in Joe Mixon's situation with Nick Chubb. It's not like anything like that. So RJ Harvey is going dude. Pick 60.
Harvey, yeah. So Henderson's ADP in a PPR 47.
Harvey's going around early
62,
60s.
Yes. For Harvey.
So what has changed?
At value, I like Harvey over Henderson.
Oh, it's not even close because they're.
But the
situation's the same.
The ADP would tell you that Henderson is a better pick, right?
But he's not. Who's a better offense goes to the Broncos.
Okay.
Okay. Who's a better player? Henderson is a better player. We're not debating that.
I'm not debating that.
He's a more explosive player.
Right.
Workload though, they kind of count to the same. I think Henderson has worked his way. He showed more from all the reports. But I think they're both going to start off in 50 timeshares.
Yeah.
So are you in on Henderson at this price?
It's a little rough, right? Henderson's got the combination of size, speed, explosiveness. He's not really game script dependent.
Do you like him returning kicks, though? Because I don't.
I don't care about that.
But I'm saying, that's just going to take away some snaps from him. Unless he scores a touchdown, he gets 0 points in most leagues. I don't want my starting running back returning kicks.
No, you don't want it, but there was a big brouhaha about Kyron Williams returning punts last year.
Yeah.
Look how that turned out. Coaches understand that unless you're in college, you're not going to give your playmakers the ball on special teams. That's just not going to happen.
Would you take Henderson over Kamara? Over Cook? Over the tiny dancer Kenneth Walker? Those guys? Over Breece Hall?
Over Breece Hall, yes.
But I still think that's crazy because who's going to have more? I know the offense. Who's going to have more work?
That's an easy one because I think the Patriots offense is going to take a step forward. The problem is his ADP is to the point that he's no longer a value, right? Stevenson's a guy they like. They paid him. He's on the roster. He's not going anywhere. This could be a split backfield, like you said. At the same point, if this offense even takes a little step forward, the lead back there is going to have tremendous value, much more than the Jets. And even like Kamara is a PPR upside machine, but what if he's done? Right? His efficiency metrics have trended downward the last 3 years in a row. What if he's actually done? You want the guy that's got the upside on an ascending offense versus probably the worst offense in the league, and all he can do to make something happen is catch passes? I don't know. That one's tough. I think you can take who falls to you, realistically.
Okay.
Oh, in casual leagues, is the name Travion Henderson going to move the needle as much as Alvin Kamara, who's been in the league for 6 years? Right?
Yeah, I can't buy into this. It's way too early. It's risky.
I mean, he's no longer valued. That's just
No.
the fact.
How much higher can he finish than this? Like, can he be a top 5 running back?
No.
So why are we
No.
taking him in the 3rd round?
I mean, realistically, he's not going in the 3rd round. He's going
No, I
outside-
just told you he's going in the 3rd round every
but
time.
what are you talking? You're talking about high value dollar drafts. We're talking to people who are playing in home leagues and office leagues.
I'm
that
just
kind of
going
stuff.
off the
That-
$250 drafts I've done.
That is nonsense because you got people. Nobody's playing in a $250 draft unless they got stupid disposable income or they're actually like
I'm
hardcore,
poor, bro.
unless they're hardcore fantasy football
I
enthusiasts.
see, I see.
In your home league, he's still going at the end of the 4th round. So that is a reasonable ADP, and I think it's fair to take him there.
Okay, so yeah, we're both kind of off that one. Next one, Mecca Egbuka. He is early 6th rounds, crazy hype, and there's good reason for this. It's the Godwin being out. It's also more McMillan
Also,
and Rashad White being hurt.
he was drafted in the 1st round.
I know he was.
Right.
He's a good talent.
16, 17, 18 overall,
So
something like that.
he's gone 59th, 62, 69th, and 60. So we're saying early 6th round for him. Do you like him there? I know you love it, Egbuka.
I do.
But do you think that's too high?
Okay, so McMillan's not going to play for half the season. Godwin's out for at least the first 4 games. Evans is no longer a chain mover, right? So who's gonna be the go-to guy on 3rd down? It's gonna be Egbuka.
Maybe.
K-Dotton, maybe.
I mean, maybe. We just don't know. Here's the question I'll ask you. Some of the reports coming out about Chris Godwin are more positive than we thought. We're like, they're not putting him on IR. So he might still miss 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay.
But it's not going to be like 6 or 7. And it might take a couple weeks to come back full strength. When he comes back, who's getting a bigger target share? Chris Godwin or Mecca Egbuka?
Well, what if Chris Godwin comes back and he starts slow?
Well, these are the what ifs. Let's just assume that he at least halfway through the year, he's back to 80% of Chris Godwin. Playing the slot role.
Okay.
Who has a better target share, Egbuka or him?
I don't know because what does Egbuka do during those first 4 games?
All I'm saying is there's a chance after 5 weeks you're drafting the wide receiver 3 in that offense.
Right. You could be basically what you're saying is you could be drafting an expiring asset, right?
Yeah.
He could be really good the first 4 weeks, and then Godwin comes back, and now he's relegated to.
He'll just be a wide
60
receiver 3,
Yes,
which
but
is fine. Like an
the
actual
question
fantasy
is
wide receiver
Egbuka
3.
big enough talent, and is he going to capitalize on the opportunity that they can't keep him off the field? Now they're not going to run 3 wide receiver sets every single play, obviously, but like Godwin, if he comes back, I get that they paid him, but if this team is humming, why would you shake things up with a Chris Godwin as talented as he is? It's difficult to say. But also, what's it in between what Marvin Harrison had last year? Why was Harrison being drafted in the 4th last year and Egbuka is only being drafted in the 6th?
Because Harrison's the clear-cut number 1 and Mike Evans is there. I mean Marvin Harrison
You could argue that Trey McBride's a
Marvin
clear-cut
Harrison
number
was sold as a generational player. Now, we didn't quite show that last year, but Marvin Harrison's a way better prospect than Egbuka. It's not even close, dude. Come on, it's not close.
the receiving leader at Ohio State University.
So you're lukewarm on that. Will you take him there, or do you want? I mean, obviously we all want these players to fall, but that's not the exercise.
Right.
Because I could say I want everyone in the 12th round.
Where is he going in? Let's call it. I don't want to call it expert drafts, but high value dollar drafts. I want to see where he went in our league.
I don't look at. I like to look at the leagues I've done, and this is a smaller sample size of 4 leagues. But I trust this because these people are putting their hard-earned money, and I think they're serious players because they are somewhat early drafts.
Okay, but I'm not discounting this information, but the problem with this information is it's specific to a certain subset of individuals.
Yeah.
Versus the people that are playing in home leagues or even leagues they get invited to. It might be a $250 draft, but you're also dealing with, Jenny from accounting, who has never heard of the name Egbuka.
Well, is Jenny? Oh, you're talking about home leagues.
Yeah.
Jenny, yeah, she's in a lot of home leagues. I hear. She plays like 20 leagues, dude.
Right. So to that end, he's going 90. His current ADP on Fantasy Pros in a PPR is 92, which
that's
is
just crazy.
much different.
But I'm also saying I've done so many best balls too in the last 3 weeks, and he has never gone past pick 70. I've yet to see it. So until I see it, I don't believe this. I'm going off this. I'm telling you, in our home league, where it's at, he went super early.
Where did he go? I'm trying to. He went 76.
Okay,
in our home
that's
league.
because IDPs were taken ahead of him, though.
Okay.
So that changes things.
Where was the first IDP taken? Okay, I don't see any IDPs here.
Okay, maybe. Fuck you, man.
Yeah, 76. So that's higher than what. So
Yes.
we have to account for a certain amount when it comes to lag.
Let's call it 70.
Okay.
You like that?
Let's call it 76 because that's where he went.
Okay, talk about the next guy. We'll compare him. You want Travis Hunter, full PPR, or you want Egbuka?
And this is not an IDP league, right?
No, just normal, full PPR, standard PPR scoring.
Right. So Hunter, where is Hunter? Our boy Hunter.
He's usually going like mid 60s.
70. So technically is behind or he's ahead of Egbuka. I would probably go with
Egbuka has gone ahead of Hunter in every draft.
then I'd probably go with Hunter.
But not at cost, like just in a vacuum.
Then
Pick
Egbuka.
65, really.
Yeah, Egbuka. That's an easy pick for me.
You would agree that Travis Hunter is far and away a better talent than Egbuka, right?
I don't know that that's the case.
Wide receiver talent?
I don't know that that's the case.
From the guys I've heard, man.
Have you seen Egbuka's film? It's
Have
incredible.
you seen Travis? I know Travis Hunter's film is weird.
I have seen his film, and I'm not convinced that he's the best wide receiver in this draft.
I guess I'll say this: Travis Hunter is such a superior athlete. He's Malik Neighbors level athletic.
What do you think his receiving line is at Vegas? In Vegas,
It's not that high.
750,
Yeah.
700 in some places.
Yeah, and Egbuka's probably right.
So that's
around
that's below guys like Michael Pittman,
I know.
Keon Coleman, Stephon Diggs.
Let's hammer that over. I think that's a really, really injury baked number.
The big question,
right? It's
like if
injury
you're talking
based.
offense only, being a two-way player could limit his offensive opportunities and limit his overall production. Like there's a reason it's 750 versus, what?
I think Vegas is projecting him missing definitely more games than Egbuka, and that's the problem with Hunter. Egbuka doesn't comp as a guy that's going to get hurt,
No.
and Hunter does.
Yes.
So that's
Big
he's a
body
riskier
receiver,
pick.
like
But he has more. I feel like he's the more upside play.
Egbuka or Hunter?
Hunter. Because in no world is he going to be the number 3 in his offense ever.
No.
I guess maybe if he's playing out of defense, but we don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen. I'm still convinced that he's going to play far more on offense.
And Hunter is actually the opposite. He has not been steamed up. He has actually been steamed down for some reason.
You're right. He's got a.
I just wanted to throw him in here.
He's
as a
got a
conversation
bigger offense, but I think you can still take the stab on Egbuka because Hunter's downside is literally like 2 for 12.
Kappa says if Hunter was just a wide receiver, would he have still been the second overall pick?
No.
I think he would have been. No?
Absolutely not.
Fourth?
Absolutely not.
Oh, absolutely not. No, I think he would have, man. Because like I said, I hear.
Right, I get, but he won the Heisman because he was a two-way player, not because he was the best wide receiver in the country.
All right, let's move on.
Also,
to,
Ashton Genty should have won the Heisman.
That's true. Boise State though. Ricky Pearsall gaining a lot of steam. We talked about him a little bit. We talked about Jawan Jennings.
This is probably Justified's team though.
His average ADP in the 4 I've done, again full PPR, is 69th overall.
Nice.
So you're looking at 6th round, 7th round.
Right. So
6th round.
89 in call it casuals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which again we have to account for some lag. So call it 85. 80 to 85.
I love Ricky Pearsall. I love him. I love the Niners this year. I feel like they're
Is he
all
scheduled?
depreciated because of what happened last year, and like that's a fucking system, man. It never fails. They blow 28-3 leads, as Kyle Shanahan does.
They do.
They blow leads in the Super Bowl, but they get to the Super Bowl. They get to the playoffs. Brock Purdy's good. That team is good.
I think you have to consider like is Jennings' injury a real injury or is it a give me more money type injury? And is the potential IRA designation just a threat tactic from the organization? At the same time, does it really matter? Right? Jennings, a 5th-year breakout. He had limited production prior to that. He had some amazing games. He had that 3-touchdown game. He had a really good season, but he also had some stingers late in the season too. So let's not forget that. Small sample size on his production. So the big problem there is like Pearsall's no longer a sleeper per se. Right? He was a sleeper, but now he's going around wide receiver 30. So that's guys like DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, who just signed. Right? So who do you want in that case? You want Pearsall on a team with an easy schedule, a solid quarterback, and a narrow target tree, or do you want a guy like McLaurin, who is a touchdown monster, or at least he was last year? DK Metcalf, who's the only game in town when it comes to that team.
Pearsall's a mystery box because we saw 3 games of it.
Right.
And we just know the offense. We know the fit, right? The role, which he's like Jawan Jennings is going to have his role. He's going to be on the line of scrimmage, running a lot of, he's not going to be having plays schemed up for him like Ricky Pearsall will. And his ability to beat man is pretty elite already in the NFL.
Good.
So
As much Brandon Ayuk will also be back at some point here.
So
too.
you want Egbuka over Pearsall?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I probably would too. We'll see, man.
I still think the Buccaneers are a better offense than the 49ers, believe it or not.
They have a better and more stable offensive line, even with the Wirfs injury, which helps, man. I know no one cares about offensive lines, but I do.
Should.
Because you want players with good offensive lines. All right, next guy, Tyrone Tracy. This is mostly because Cam Scadaboo missed a chunk of training camp. He is back now. He played in the third preseason game, but he would have been the guy that would have been getting this hype had he had a couple wow moments in the preseason, didn't get hurt, and had the reviews. But Tyrone Tracy, I have 71, 105, 81, and 90th overall in the drafts I've done. That is end of the 7th round. And Scadaboo is going...
Say those again?
71st, 105, 81, and 90.
Okay, so that's more in line with what ADP is on Fantasy Pros, where he's 79 in a PPR.
Meanwhile, you got Scadaboo going 104, 114, and 115. So he's going 10th round.
Yeah, 101. Okay.
So I get the nice thing about Tracy is I feel like early in the year he's going to be a pretty reliable back end RB2. In PPR he's a pass catcher until Scadaboo gets his feet wet. But who do you like at cost? I'm guessing you're like Scadaboo at cost. 3 rounds
I
later.
don't know that injury. I know he's back and he played, but
Do you like Tracy at cost?
I
feel like it's a little high.
I took him at cost.
I feel like it's a little high, man. And I'm a Tyrone Tracy guy.
Where did he go? He went 77. So yeah, exactly. I took him exactly at cost.
I feel like that's I don't know, man. I just know he's definitely never going to be a league winner with that offense.
No,
with Scadaboo.
One of the worst offenses in the league. He's got Scadaboo nipping at his heels. They've got one of the toughest schedules in the league too. Don't forget about that. But the other side of it is this is kind of an upside play when you consider if hamstrings tend to linger. If Scadaboo's hamstring reappears, if Malik Neighbors is more hurt than letting on, if there is actually concern there, a lot of this is going to have to funnel through Tyrone Tracy. And Jackson Dart looks like he could be a solid, serviceable backup to Russell
We
Wilson.
might have whiffed on that one, bro. I know it's preseason, but...
And the reports are Tyrone Tracy looks better, too. More confident. He's got more burst. He's more fluid. All around, it's could be a solid start to the year with upside down the line. I'm not sure that he's got as good a chance to be on your roster at the end of the year as he doesn't.
I got to shout out the chat real quick. Hey, Stephen King's in the chat. We got a celebrity.
Jackpot.
It's actually my buddy.
You ever seen The Mist?
Yeah.
It's a good
Love that movie. You love the ending. Stephen King's in the chat. It's actually a bartender, Stephen King. What up, dude? He says, it's a funny message. Hey, stranger, tell your amazing wife I said hello and miss you both.
Hey.
Now, out of context, that might sound a little strange. Hey, tell your wife I said hi. Fucking my wife, bro?
Say hi to your
But I had to
boyfriend.
throw that out there. Okay. What the hell? What were we talking about? Stephen King?
Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah, I'm lukewarm on it. I love Tracy. It depends on the build. Like, I love him as a depth piece, and if I wait at running back, I'm comfortable with him as my RB2. But I'm going to load up my bench because I'm not expecting much the second half of the year, as in like RB2 production.
Right. Well, consider that like I needed just from a real world perspective, I needed an RB2 in that case, and so I stacked Tracy, Javonte Williams, and JCM. Corey Krosky-Merritt, hoping that one of those guys can stumble into an RB2 role to start the season.
All right, we're moving on to... I got people talking about the mic. We're recording this for the actual show, which is going to be released in a day or two. The live stream is just a difference phone. The system isn't great, so sorry it's a little quiet.
Can we talk louder?
We can talk louder.
Okay.
I mean, I'm already talking pretty loud, but I'll do what I can. So, next guy, Tyler Warren. Now, this is Steam City. He's in a sauna right now. He is going end of the 6th round, which is just crazy to me. Yeah, early 7th. Here's the ADP I've had in my 4 leagues: 83rd, 75, 70, and 62. He went 62 last night. 60 fucking 2. So, man. So we'll call it 7th round. Call it end of the 7th round even if you want to go down that way. I'm just gonna go off the ADP of these expensive leagues I'm playing.
Trying to find out where he went, and I
He
went early.
He went ahead of Kelsey.
He went ahead
of Kelsey in the league last night.
Yeah. Oh, in your league last night. Okay.
Yeah.
Porta, Kelsey, ... Hawkinson.
He fell majorly in this one.
Andrews at 94.
104.
104. Okay.
Yeah.
So that doesn't also jive because 88 on Fantasy Pros ADP.
Right.
This isn't a PPR. Right?
He is going high as hell. You love Tyler Warren.
I do love it. He's a monster of a man.
Is it worth it there?
He's a man among. I mean, not in the
7th,
sixth
8th round. Let's say 7th. Say mid to late 7th.
I mean, he's making grown men look like children in the preseason.
You take him ahead of Mark
3
Andrews?
catches, 40 yards in the touchdown.
You take him ahead of Mark Andrews?
I mean, Mark Andrews is going to be a pretty steady touchdown, and it's touchdown and bust a lot. But I mean, there's a real chance that the Colts passing game flows through Tyler Warren this year, right? Like,
yeah. But what is that passing game going to be? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, what was the Raiders passing game last year? It's a very similar situation to Brock Bowers.
I get you.
It's tough to take much from the preseason when it comes to second and third string defensive teams, and this offense is going to be bottom 10 regardless of the quarterback. As much as I don't believe in the other pass catchers, there are a ton of guys there. I don't know, man. I was really hoping that Tyler Warren would stick in the 11th and 12th, and that'd be the guy that I'm going after. Like, this steaming up into the 7th round, that seems really untenable. It's still a rookie tight end, and despite Sam Laporta and Brock Bowers bucking the trend in recent years, it's still a tough position to learn. It's still difficult to make that transition, so I don't know. I want Tyler Warren, but in the 6th round, the 7th round, like
that's the idea of this exercise in this episode right now is, are they worth the hype? Because all the value is being just siphoned away from these guys.
Even if you consider, let's take the 88 at face value. Now you're giving up guys like Egbuka, Khalil Shakir, Jawan Jennings, Stephon Diggs, Jacoby Myers, we've talked about him, Jalen Warren, Deebo Samuel. I don't know. I mean, it's a tight end, right? How much of a difference maker could a tight end really be? At the same time, I want him. I want him places. So
I know it's the upside, right?
Yeah.
Next guy, this is the one I didn't give you on the list, is Jalen Warren.
You gave me Jalen Warren.
I did. Okay, so Jalen Warren is not like these other guys. Most of these guys are young players, rookies, guys we haven't seen. We've seen Jalen Warren, and he is going. This is going to blow your mind. End of the 7th, early 8th in these PPR drafts.
Okay.
He is going in the last 4. The last 2 I've done, he's gone ahead of Caleb Johnson. Are you cool with that?
I mean, it doesn't really surprise me. Caleb Johnson. I think this either one of these is wrong because this is Caleb Johnson in the 70s and Jalen Warren in the 80s.
That's where they're ranked, like in the 8. That's where they're ranked on these platforms.
No, that's their ADP. Consensus of 6 sources.
Oh.
Yeah. So their sources are ESPN, CBS, NFL, Real Time, Sleeper, and Fantrax.
See, I don't go off anything that includes ESPN because there's so many free leagues.
Well,
that counts free leagues.
Let's take ESPN off.
Yeah,
of
take ESPN off.
Yeah.
Free leagues don't count. So, is it insane to you that Jalen Warren is going ahead of Caleb Johnson and going in the 7th or 8th round? It's similar to the Tyron Tracy thing, except for
okay. We took ESPN off of there. Let's see where he's going now.
like Caleb Johnson wasn't hurt like Scatabo, right?
84. Caleb Johnson 75. So that did close. Let's take Yahoo out of there too, because there's a lot of free leagues on Yahoo. Yahoo's not on here.
So
let's take CBS off of there.
Do you like Jalen Warren at cost? Do you like him in general?
Well,
who are you taking?
okay.
I know it depends on the build. Are you taking Caleb Johnson or Jalen Warren?
Hang on. So, I mean, good job. Aaron Rodgers, his arm might be cooked. And I know he had the most passing or 4th most. What Kappa's famous stat? He had the 3rd or 4th most passing attempts in the league last year. But I mean, we're talking PPR here. Because
yes.
Jalen Warren is a PPR upside guy.
All PPR, I get it.
Dinks and dunks in the running back position. He's by far a better pass catcher than Caleb Johnson. And Caleb Johnson's a rookie. And Aaron Rodgers hates when rookies make mistakes. So one whiff in pass protection, that could send Caleb Johnson to the bench.
That's what I was saying all year when you had Caleb Johnson up super high.
At the same time, Arthur Smith couldn't even keep Bijan Robinson in the top 10 every week. So why am I going to invest in anybody in this offense?
But now the price on Caleb Johnson going around 82. That's money, dude.
Yeah.
That's money.
Because
he's a bench running back.
But there's no pass catching upside, and if they're not scoring touchdowns,
I wouldn't say no pass catch. It'd be like a Jonathan Taylor level.
Okay.
20.
And they barely use him as a even though Jonathan Taylor's a pretty good pass catcher, they barely use him as a pass catcher in his rookie year. Like if they're just winning 14-10, 17-14 every week, like where are these touchdowns coming from? Probably the tight ends, right? Because that's how this offense was probably going to operate. They're going to do just enough to win games. Jalen Warren, going up that high, like he's also got injury concerns. Don't forget, like he's been hurt in the past.
Yeah.
I don't know. If Caleb Johnson goes below, and we have yet to see it outside of these, but if he goes below Jalen Warren, then yeah, I'm gonna click on Caleb Johnson every time.
Same. I love it as a third running back too, especially because late in the year, I feel like they're going to use him more. All right, next name, Matthew Golden.
Oh yeah, that's the one you didn't send me. Yeah.
Actually, no. Let's talk about JCM.
Okay.
Because he actually goes ahead of these guys. I had him at the bottom. Ja'Cory Crosby-Merritt, as they call him, Bill. So talk about a steam whistle. First draft was 103, and then he's been going 80, 81, 80 the last 3 drafts, which is mid-7th. Early 7th, actually.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
I mean, well, bottom line is his talent is undeniable. He's flashed incredibly in preseason. The one solid productive year he had in college out of the 6 that he was there is very relevant. He's impressed the coaches to the point that they shipped off Brian Robinson to the San Francisco 49ers. Rodriguez has been there a couple years. He's unproven. Austin Eckler, he's on the wrong side of the age cliff. He might be toast. At the same time, JCM's never really profiled as a prolific pass-catching running back. We kind of talked about that earlier. Eckler still exists. Chris Rodriguez also flashed in the preseason. This could be a nasty 3-way timeshare. And with Jaden Daniels snatching carries out of the backfield, you could be really disappointed. JCM being steamed up in the ninth round, you could be really disappointed in his output, at least to start the season.
No, we're steaming up to the 7th round, just so you know. And it's only going to get higher, I promise you. It's going to get higher. So you're telling me right now that he doesn't profile as a pass catcher. Now, when he has the ball in his hands, it's going to be nice, but he's like a worse version of Isaiah Pacheco as a pass catcher?
They're about the same. If you look at what Pacheco did at Rutgers.
And he might not get the goal line work.
That's true.
So he's an explosive player, but you're going to be getting between the 20s.
There was a blurb that came out that Chris Rodriguez is going to be the goal line back. But again, Chris Rodriguez has been there for 2 years and really hasn't been anything. He even as a backup, he hasn't seen much.
Who's the other guy they have there? They have another running back. He's not great. The hell is his name?
I'll look it up.
It's I should know this. He is like the definition of just a guy, but like, is he going to work into McNichols?
Jeremy McNichols.
Is he going to work into? Is he a special teams guy?
Probably not. I mean, McNichols has been there for.
So you're off this though, right? Like you would not be taking any JCM shares.
I mean, I have taken JCM. I took him in the 9th round. Like that's an easy pick for me in the 9th round.
Okay, so I'm off.
If you need a running back, if you need a desperation running back, like why wouldn't you take a shot? And then if it doesn't work, you're in the hole. You might as well try to work at the waiver wire. But if you're desperate, you could do worse than JCM.
I'd rather take Tootin 2-3 rounds later.
There's
who's a better prospect, Tootin or JCM?
Probably Tootin, but who's got a better situation right now?
It appears JCM.
It does appear that way.
Seemingly.
Seemingly.
Okay, last guy, Matthew Golden. So this is mostly because half of the receivers in Green Bay are hurt, and he's a rookie. So he's been 93 was the first draft.
This is really recent steam, by the way.
Then 70, 81, then 85. He's going into the 7th round.
So 93 is where they got him without ESPN leagues and CBS leagues.
End of the 7th.
42.
I think we both warmed on Golden a bit.
I have.
Because the Jaden Reed thing. I think Jaden Reed's ready week 1 personally.
Well,
but I'm a Tucker Kraft guy.
So we know that Golden's going to play in 2 wide receiver sets. Like we know that now.
Yes. And he made a pretty badass catch in preseason.
Yeah, he's been
like a contested catch.
He's definitely flashed. Like, did you see that drop that Dontavian Wicks had the other day?
Well,
it's ridiculous. So, like,
he couldn't catch
Dobbs.
He couldn't catch keys if you threw him at him, dude. Hey, start my car.
He couldn't catch water if he fell out of a boat. That's the one I was like,
He gets open though.
Yeah. Okay. But like, you're actually going to have a guy that's starting in 2 wide receiver sets. They took him for a reason. They took him in the 1st round for a reason. So
yeah, the draft was in Green Bay.
At the same time, like,
their fans.
Even though he's starting in 2 wide receiver sets, how often is he going to come off the field? Are they going to treat him just like they treat all the other wide receivers there, which is just a rotating cast of disposable guys? And that's difficult to say. In the 7th round, I don't know. Do I trust that Green Bay offense enough? Do I trust, what's his name, Matt LaFleur, in order to make Golden?
The passing game will be good. It's just, where does it go? Is it super spread out?
We don't
know.
That's my concern. Do I trust him enough to get him the ball? I think he's a solid talent, but I don't know. Where's he going right now?
8th round.
8th round.
End of 7.
8th round. Okay.
That's early, man. I mean, you're looking at
what I mean.
I'll tell you the players going around him.
Okay.
So you're looking at Debo Samuel, Stephon Diggs. Like, you want Diggs over him, right?
I do.
Jordan Addison.
Probably not because of suspension.
Shakir.
He's hurt.
Dunze goes ahead of him. Jerry Jeudy.
No.
I know you hate Jerry. I shouldn't even have said that. That's the range,
Okay.
generally. Cooper Kupp.
No.
It's a gross
Cooper Kupp
range.
is toast. Yeah, that's a gross range. So why wouldn't you just go take a shot on Matthew Golden?
Right.
Yeah, he went way late. But of course, this is the IDP, so a bunch of IDP guys went above him. But he went in the 9th round in one league that I'm in.
All right, we're gonna get to the next episode. It was awesome.
Solid.
Can
you?
I'm gonna read a couple questions here. So I see some JT says Gary Gaddy is my grandpa's best friend. How much for the jersey?
Rat.
No
Gary
shit.
Gaddy.
My favorite guy. If it was signs, it'd be worth a lot more. I can't sell that. That means a lot. If you want to pay me $1,000 for it, you can literally customize it though for like $50. So don't do that. I'll take it. I take a G. It has sentimental value. We got. Let's see. A lot of the microphone talk, I get that. I'm going to try to figure that out. This is mostly recorded for our full-length YouTube show, but I figured I'd stream it for you guys so you can be in the chat. Hopefully it's not terrible. Cortland Sutton or Marvin Harrison? Man, Marvin Harrison. You got to go with the upside, but I could see the appeal of Cortland Sutton. I'm warming on him. Let's see. If Jennings rubs money on that calf, he will be magically healed. Yeah, that's kind of like how Magic Johnson cured his HIV, right? The South Park thing, just money. Just sleep on a bed of money and you're magically healed. Let's see what else we have here. Henderson has taken over that backfield. Ramondre fumbles too much. That is true, but they somehow still like Ramondre Stevenson. They did not bring in anyone else. So that tells me that Ramondre is going to be the early season banger. And I don't know if they want to give Henderson 20 touches a game, right? He doesn't comp at that. It's Alvin Kamara at best for his workload. I traded Drake London to get Ladd McConkey and Ashton Genty. I mean, someone who's higher on Drake London than me, apparently.
McConkey the donkey.
We got. I trade Ty Warren at my draft for Devonta Smith. Good or bad? I mean,
That's good.
That's really
good. Who's that?
That is Bink.
Yeah.
What up, Bink?
Bink, you nailed it. That's the way to do it.
We gotta
man.
do that one.
Get an asset that's being steamed up and take advantage of the hype around them. Right? I'm gonna move in, see if that helps with the thing.
I just took Bill tonight in the 5th round in an 8-player keeper league. Now, keeper leagues were different.
Fifth round?
Yeah, but it's eight teams. It's actually even an earlier pick. But keeper league, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, if he's the guy, that he turns out to be, he's going to go much higher. I mean, even in the 5th round, he's probably like if he turns out to be the guy for Washington, and you can keep him for a 5th in future years, he's got the potential to do what Bucky did, right? He's got the potential to do what Bucky Irving did, who's going in the 2nd round now. So if that's the case, is it worth it? I mean, if 8-team league, yeah, I mean, probably worth a stab depending on. I don't know. That one's tough.
Yeah, I don't know what an 18 league is, so. Let me ask you this. This is a good one, Kappa says. If I can find it. Said, Rob, you look super sexy. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You know the other thing, actually, just go back to that for a second. Let's say he does flash. Takes a few weeks. He comes on. He's the guy. Even if he's not the guy all year, you got 2 weeks of production. You could say, hey, listen, I'm going to trade you, JCM, Bill, and keep in mind, like, you've got leverage now. You've got opportunity to say, hey, dude, you can keep him for a 5th round next year. Don't forget, if you can trade keepers and that's part of it, then that's probably a good strategy, assuming that you're savvy enough to make that move mid-season. So, yeah, I'd say good option.
Najee Harris, real quick. Someone mentioned Najee Harris. If he's healthy week 1, where are you taking him? Like, do you view him as a handcuff? Do you view him in the range of Dobbins? Do you view him in the range of JCM? Talk about that.
He's behind that. So Najee Harris, not just a guy, but he's been he's been mildly productive. I take that back. He was very productive with Pittsburgh for many, many years, but his efficiency has declined. There's a reason they shipped him off. That is a running back friendly system. Both Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman are known to run running back friendly systems, but now you got the double-edged sword of he's not a pass catcher, and it's not a pass catching running back system. So while he could be the goal line back eventually, he could be an early down back. I think by the time he's back to full strength, Martin Hampton's going to have taken over that role. I don't know how much there is for Najee Harris realistically. So for me, I look at him as a backup with limited upside. I would say he's in the range of, he's definitely ahead of guys like Tyler Algier and Ray Davis because he will have some standalone value, but I don't put him up there with J.K. Dobbins, who we know is going to have a role to start the season.
What do you think that the split, if Najee's back right away healthy, right, the veteran, he doesn't need the training camp. I know new team, but what do you think the usage split would be? 60-40 Hampton?
No, I think 50-50. Like, it wouldn't surprise me.
That's not good.
I know it's not good.
That's good for Najee.
Good for Najee Harris.
The problem is Najee, who's getting the goal line work?
That's the problem.
And who's catching passes?
So if it's 50-50, Najee is unusable, and Amari and Hampton, you went way high on a guy that should be farther down. It's further down.
Here's a question for you, because Najee Harris is actually an underrated pass catcher. Now, he's not as good as his receiving numbers in the NFL as his rookie year when he had 70 catches. Like, he's not that guy. But who's a better pass catcher right now, Hampton or Harris?
Hampton.
Really?
Yeah. See what he done in college?
Like 30 catches, but like, are you saying just
in
eye
college?
Test?
Well, just when he had the ball in his
you
hand.
saw what Najee Harris did in the NFL. He had a 70 catch year. That was a Big Ben checking down.
That's the point.
70 catches? How many people? Alvin Kamara shit, man.
Check down Charlie, man. Like,
I'm going to take your word for it. You're the college guy. All right, you want to get to the last show here?
Yes.
Got one more show for you guys. It's a little draft prep. A little draft blueprints. 5 draft strategies.
38 receptions his junior year, by the way, his last year.
It's a lot in college.
That's a lot in college. Yeah.
All right, we got 5 draft tips for you, major draft tips that are specific to this year, but also just more fantasy theory that it might seem like common sense, but it's not. And a lot of people make these mistakes. And we all know we want to pick the right players, but there's ways where you can screw yourself without picking. The players don't matter because your strategy's dog shit. So we want to avoid the bad strategies, right?
So my top strategy is to pick the guys that are going to do well and not get hurt.
Yeah, very good. Actually, it's pick Tajay Spears in the 5th round.
Hey-o!
Woo!
So my honorable mention is actually have plenty of booze on hand. It's very important for when you make a mistake in your drafts.
And know your booze tolerance. Like me, I can do a lot of things hammered. And I might forget about them, but I function pretty well. And whether you want to call me an alcoholic, whatever, I can do it. Some people can't. So if you can't handle alcohol, do not get drunk at your draft.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. I didn't have that written down.
Like if it's a 23-round draft and, by round 19, maybe you can go ahead and let loose a little bit.
Maybe do some cocaine. Not that I have to, but I'm saying that keeps you awake. Keeps you awake.
Maybe microdosing ketamine?
There you go. Yeah. All right, Rob's Roundtable. We got the draft blueprint for you. 5 awesome tips. What's your first tip?
Well, before we get to that, I've got something for you. Per usual.
Ooh, what do you got?
What do you think the odds are, and who do you think is the most likely NFL coach to get fired? The next coach to get fired per the odds in Las Vegas.
Mike McDaniel.
And the odds?
Oh, it's probably plus 350.
Plus 200.
Whoa!
Yeah. Brian Dable behind him at plus 400. Shane Steichen at 700. Stefanski 700. Dave Canellis 700. So,
Jesus.
Back to my distrust of the Miami Dolphins. I mean, Vegas is telling us 2-1. 2-1 chance that McDaniel's the first coach to get fired.
That's wacky.
Especially when you consider that Brian Dable is a dead man walking there in New York.
Don't take that bet, though. I know it's like...
I'm not taking that.
That's not good odds.
It's not good odds.
Because they could literally start 3-1. You know they could. Like, we've seen it before.
Right.
They could also start 0-4, and he's definitely fired.
Right.
Because he is a nerd, bro. I hate that dude.
Yeah. Well,
what
yeah. So, anyway, that's just a...
Coming prepared. I love it. All right. What's your first draft tip?
Okay. So, fade injury hopium. So, and by that, I mean, don't assume that players who are injured in training camp will come back at 100% for week 1, even if all the coaches and the beat reporters, if all the reports are this guy is definitely going to be here for week 1. Let your other managers in your league chase the upside of injured players. So, for example, this year would be Joe Mixon, Juwan Jennings, Tyreek Hill, Chris Godwin, Najee Harris. guys who the reports they seem like they're going to be here at some point, but it takes a lot of time for players who are injured seriously to get back into form. Days turn into weeks, weeks can turn into months. And also, don't assume.
And months can turn into your season's over.
Cedric Tillman last year. Don't assume a player coming back from injury is going to be 100% to start the year. At the same time, you can buy the dip on players that were injured late last year and have their stock have a track record of solid production. So this year would be Dak Prescott, Kenneth Walker, Stephon Diggs, guys like that. So injuries can be useful both fading and buying.
So I actually had something similar. It was avoid drafting injured players when you can. Now the caveat is when the price is right, the price is right. Bob Barker told me that. So
he also told you to spay and neuter your pets.
I did. Which I do. My dogs are never.
It is very important. Spay and neuter your pets, people.
Mostly injuries will find you during the year. Don't find them.
That's a good.
They already are going to find you. That's like on my tombstone, bro. Like I want that on my tombstone. And I have been a player historically that has been risky and gamble a little bit with that. But I've learned my lesson, and it's been worse in recent years because you just don't know what to believe with the reports. So just don't find them, man.
Yeah, injury reporting.
And if it's late guys, it's fine. Like super late. We're talking like third, fourth, fifth guy on your bench, whatever. You're probably dropping those guys anyway.
Right. Your opportunity cost is very minimal in places like that. When you're talking about like, Juwan Jennings, for example, like there's a real opportunity cost to investing in that guy who might be gone for 4 weeks. And like we've talked about repeatedly on this program, when you've got a guy that you slot into your IR, even though it seems like, it's a free spot, I'll slot in my IR, there are still opportunity costs, not being able to put the guys who get dinged up for a game in there, a guy who gets a concussion, right? Something like that. So
yeah, and also, I think a lot of guys, especially in home leagues, they think they're smarter. Like if they play a lot of leagues, like they think they're smarter than the rest of the league mates. So they will take that gamble because they're like, I'll just get guys later. Fantasy is different now because of all the content and there's no sleepers anymore. Everyone knows everyone. So it's not like it was in 2010.
I'm convinced that there's no such thing as a buy low anymore because
Tucker Kraft.
Okay. Yes, potentially, but he's been rising up boards.
The last thing about the injury thing is I think best ball has seeped into our subconscious a bit about trying to stack and win for the playoff weeks and these big tournaments. Your one league situation is different because you need to win September. In home leagues especially, starting off 3-0 or 4-1, not only is it your chance to make the playoffs immensely better, but it gives you leverage, right? It's like having more poker chips when you're playing Texas Hold'em. You can make more bets, you can make trades, you can do things, you can start setting yourself up later. When you start off 1-3, you start having to make desperation trades. Oh, I need a running back for my bye week. When you're 4-1, if you have a bye week, just fuck it, I lose. I'm not going to make any trades to ruin my ultimate talent on my team. So you have a better leverage against your league mates. Take advantage of their 1-3 teams, 1-4 teams, siphon their talent, then maybe grab some injured guys because you can afford a couple losses.
Oh, you're saying you can withstand taking an L here and there if you've got that strong start.
Yeah, so you start strong. Right. Like take players. Like last year I took Chuba Hubbard everywhere because I knew he was going to be great in September. Now, lucky for me, Jonathan Brooks got hurt when he came back, and Chuba was almost a year-long thing. But, like, that was a perfect guy for me. 12th round, an RB2. I knew he was going to be an RB2, and he was. Actually, he was an RB1. Like, guys like that, like, we knew it wasn't going to help you win the championship that specific week in the playoffs, but it got you there.
Yeah.
That's the key.
I don't know that many people are even playing for Week 17 in casual leagues. I mean, I'm sure people think about it, but I'm not looking at Week 17. I'm looking at how do I put the best roster on the field so that I can make the playoffs. You just got to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and get enough spins at it, baby. What's your second draft tip?
It might seem obvious, but it's use tier-based drafting. And whether you find rankings online that have tiers or you make your own tiers like we do, I want you to not get hung up on certain players. It's better to have groups of players that you can pick from as opposed to trying to target in on individuals. Although, if you do have pillar players that you want to get, sometimes you do have to reach up and grab those guys if you're dead setting getting them. But it's better to try to predict who's going to be available towards the end of those tiers when it comes back around to your turn to draft. Those tiers are going to show you where the cliffs are on talent and opportunity, and where the value hides. That means fewer panic picks. When that clock is running out, you're trying to search through rankings and you don't have those groups already grouped out, right? We've all been there. You can take calculated risks, and you have a much better shot at building a competitive roster when you've got a tier of 5 guys, and then those start going off the board. You don't have to take the second guy there. You don't have to get caught up in the run if you know that you can get the guy who's 5th in that tier. What that means is you're going to get similar production within that group. So you can go ahead and wait and take the guy later.
A good example is the wide receivers in the third round. It starts with a JSN and T. Higgins, Tyreek Hill, Wilson, Harrison, Evans, Devontae Adams, Terry McLaurin. Like, we don't know who's going to be the best of those guys. Like, JSN's probably the safest. We did that exercise upside floor. But that's all a pretty set tier, right? Like, you don't want to be... It sucks having the early pick because in the early third, if you need a receiver, you're going to have to take the top guy from that tier. Which, it's nice to have the pick of the bunch, but I'd rather, in the late third, for instance, or early fourth, just get Devontae Adams or Mike Evans or Harrison or whoever falls because you're getting that player 14 picks later than someone that took JSN or Higgins.
Right. I mean, that's a good... Think about it.
And you never know which order they're going to go in, right? It's also like other people are doing tier-based drafting, and they're just... At that point, you take your guy, which I'm cool with, and I don't really...
I think most people are just doing best player available. I don't know that most people are doing...
And a lot of people draft on ADP. Right?
Also true.
Like, end-all, be-all, they panic. It's like, oh, who's rated highest? I'm not a fan of that. Like, I'm only a fan of it when I have, let's say, the 10th pick, and it's like between two guys, and I'm going to take two wide receivers there. I'm going to take the higher guy in ADP because there's a better chance the lower guy will fall back to be the next round.
Don't get caught up on the ADP for your platform or even the rank for your platform. You can sort by both nowadays. Like, you want to take a guy because you've got him ranked in your own personal ranks at 94, but they've got him ranked at 75. Well, you don't have to take that guy right there. If he goes, he goes, but you've got other guys in your tiers that you can fall back on. Don't get caught up in saying, I got to get this guy because the platform says he should be ranked 75.
All right, my first one, since I kind of piggybacked with your injured players one, is target good ecosystems. And I guess one of the issues with this is in the middling teams, we don't know. We're wrong on this all the time, right? We're wrong on this team's going to be good, this team's going to be bad. But we do have a general idea. We know the top 5 teams. We know the bottom 5 teams for offense, roughly. Those middle teams get a little muddy. But a couple examples. So, like, I want to avoid, mostly this is also the caveat, I want to avoid non-elite players on letdown teams.
Okay.
An example of that is Jerry Jeudy.
Yep.
An example of that is Chuba Hubbard.
Would Tyrone Tracy be one of those guys?
Possibly, but he's going late enough where it's hard to count him there. But Chuba, for instance, is a 4th-round pick.
Right.
And he's a good player, but he is not an elite player. We think a lot of people are steaming up the Panthers' offense because what they did the last 6 weeks. Do we know the Panthers' offense? What's more likely? They finish 22nd or 12th?
Right, 22nd.
There
We can't just assume that.
So that's an example of a 4th-round pick you're spending on a non-elite player that does not profile as a pass catcher. He's going a little bit after Alvin Kamara. They should not be going in this. I know he's in a bad situation, but it's Alvin fucking Kamara. And you're looking at 60 catches, like, locked in, gonna happen. So I want to really target these monster teams because they're gonna score the points, right? That's why, like, the Bengals last year, every Bengals player, even Gesicki when T. Higgins went down. Gesicki was the top 10 tight end for that, like, 4-week stretch, just because he was on the Bengals. Eagles players. I think the Cowboys could be one of those teams this year. Like, worst case scenario, Cowboys are middling, but, like, possible circus teams where there's other teams that just the Raiders. I get it. They have a pretty distinct top 3 guys.
It's a very narrow tree of production.
But Jacoby Myers is an example of a non-elite player on a probably bottom half offense.
Yeah, well, that's why I have concerns with the Steelers. That offensive system doesn't seem like it lends itself to very much fantasy production any way you stack it.
Well, that's
running back, quarterback, wide receiver.
But DK Metcalf, I call him an elite player, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, like...
Seemingly.
Never been a top 15 guy, right? Like, is he actually elite? Those are your questions. Anybody else on the Saints? Like, I love Chris Olave, and I've taken him in drafts, but is it really smart to take a team that the starting quarterback on there would be the 3rd string on most other teams?
Yeah. Next one real quick. I already kind of touched on this one in the previous episode, was ignore most of camp noise. Most of it, and ignore coach chatter. So if you have an opinion on a guy,
coaches lie
all the time. I mean, McCaffrey was healthy until Sunday night before the Monday night game of Week 1.
Le'Veon Bell was going to be there by Week 5. Don't you remember?
So it mostly comes down to if you have a belief in a player or a situation or a draft pick, don't let, unless it's like injury news, don't let a report R.J. Harvey being listed 5th in the depth chart. That's a really weird example, but don't let those things get you off a player. If you want to move him down a slot or two, but like don't don't buy into all this jargon, because if you do that, your rankings are going to change so much day to day. And like, I'll change them maybe week to week a little bit, but you can't be changing your rankings. I can't be moving a guy up and down 8 spots because of a fucking blurb. I want to read them.
At the same time, you have to be cautious about taking too much from. I get you can glean some insight from preseason games. At the same time, it's very well known that coaches do not put their full playbook into practice in preseason games, for the very reason they're trying to keep their secrets hidden for games that count, right? So even though our RB2 might seem like an RB1 in preseason, is that actually the case? Just because they're playing with the ones in preseason games, does that actually mean they're the running back one? Or when push comes to shove, is the coach going to fall back on the veteran that they have that knows is going to be solid in pass protection and it knows is going to be there for them?
Yeah. All right, what's your next draft tip?
It's very much a cliche, but zig when others are zagging. And by that I mean, if everyone is going with one strategy or doing the same thing, it's the person that bucks the trend that has an opportunity to put themselves in position to have a significant advantage, right? So example, last year, most of the workhorse-heavy running backs stayed healthy, relatively healthy, right? CMC being the exception, obviously. But prior to years past, when you'd have about 50% of the top running backs drafted get hurt and a backup sets into the role, we've seen they stayed healthy. So this year, the running backs have been pushed up in value, especially in the first round. So that presents a really good opportunity to acquire high-end wide receiver talent in rounds 1 and round 2 at value. Another example is your leagues might get caught up in a quarterback run, where if 2 quarterbacks go, you might see another go, and then a couple of picks, and then another, and you start seeing all these quarterbacks go off the board. So even if the guys in your tier go, there's really no reason to reach up and take a guy from the next tier, right? A lot of quarterbacks coming off the board, you have the opportunity to stack wide receivers and running backs in talent there, or stack that talent and snag an upside QB or 2 later, and then straight the position. So that kind of goes back to our tier-based drafting. Like even if all the guys in your tier 2 quarterbacks go, don't just take the top guy at top of your tier 3 because you're fearful of missing out.
Right. Yeah, it's like the run. So if you have a draft that's going really crazy running back, and you had this strategy of you wanted to go kind of running back heavy, but all of them went, all the top 12 guys, which some of them usually bleed into the 3rd round, all went by mid to late 2nd, and you're in that 2-3 turn. Don't reach for Alvin Kamara if you have him as a 4th round player at the 2-3 turn, just because he's the best running back available.
Right.
At that point, those teams that took the running backs most likely are going to stop taking running backs, and they're going to hammer receiver. You hammer the receivers that are there, and then you're going to get a value at running back later. And like, that's a big thing. People panic and like, I need this. No, dude, you have a whole bench to fill out. If you win, you want to win more positions than the next guy, right? I want to win receiver, and if I can't win running back, if I win receiver, flex, and quarterback or tight end, I'm going to beat you most weeks. So that's the key, is take value when it comes. And I don't care if you want to take running backs. I know it hurts to not have running backs. It's dangerous, right? It's a risky game. But you can make it work. There's going to be plenty of running backs, and the same would go with wide receivers. And in PPR, if they're all going, but you have a Bucky Irving falling to the 3rd round,
Well,
just take them.
Right.
Just take them. Even if it's your 3rd running back and you can start him in your flex. And I don't want to start a running back in my flex in PPR. Dude, he's going to score more than the wide receiver you're taking there.
At the same time, like, okay, so your running backs or your wide receivers might not be in the right position that you want at the beginning of the draft, but that's why we play in a system where you can make changes throughout the year. You got to stay active and make sure you're picking up those guys that can supplement your roster down the line.
So that kind of leads into my next one, is you don't need to fill out your starting lineup before drafting bench guys. A lot of guys are like, well, I got my 3 receivers, I got my 2 running backs, my flex is filled, I better take my quarterback and then my tight end. Even though the players aren't ideal or you're reaching on them, like, you can wait. Or you can take your bench receiver, but I don't like to do this, but you can take your bench receiver before your RB2. Like, you're going to have that guy on your bench. It's going to give you a lot of insulation. Then what you have to do is make sure you pound running back late, and vice versa. You can take your 3rd running back before you take your 2nd receiver. Like, I don't like doing it, but if that's where the value is at, do it. Don't just take a quarterback to fill out your quarterback spot, because if you take a guy like Bo Nix and it's like the 6th round, you could just wait sometimes 6 rounds later and get a solid, the same production pretty much, right? I know I'm not using Bo Nix as an example because he goes kind of high, but you can get a Caleb Williams. I know you hate that.
Justin Fields.
Any of these guys, man. There's so many of them.
Dak Prescott, a Kyler Murray.
You don't have to take Mark Andrews in the 5th round, 6th round, because all the tight ends are gone, and you think it's a drop off from there, you can just wait and take Tucker Kraft. Not to try to get too specific, but you can just wait, and there's going to be guys later. There's always guys later. The more talent you can acquire is good for you, especially in home leagues, because you can just make them trades, man.
Yeah.
People are going to need that position. You have the edge there. Just don't panic.
This is a bonus one I'm just thinking about now. It kind of ties in with yours. Is like in most home leagues, there's really very, very little reason to draft a backup quarterback or a backup running back. Now, if the value is really there, if a guy like Bo Nix drops into the 12th round and you already took a quarterback, depends on how high you took him, but there might be an argument to be made. But if you take like a Justin Fields, you might want to take a guy to play matchups, or at the same time, like, just roll with Justin Fields and see what happens. And if it doesn't work out, try to find somebody off the waiver wire or stream or whatever it is. Same with tight ends. I don't really see a reason, especially when you're talking about the difference between most tight ends is extremely narrow. Like, if you're taking a Tucker Kraft, would you take a backup tight end?
No.
I wouldn't either.
I would never.
Yeah.
Unless you literally are getting like the 15th guy, then maybe. Like Colson Loveland, if I take him, I might want to
take a second guy to
Let's
play
say
matchups.
Jake Ferguson. Yeah. Good pairing.
So
a couple comments here I just want to get to. This guy says, if you need advice drafting your fantasy team, you're in trouble. Well, believe it or not, I see a lot of dumb shit, and right? Like,
I mean,
I see some dumb shit.
We all need advice on stuff. Like
we do. And then this one's a good one. What round should DeAndre Hopkins be taking at? Don't draft DeAndre Hopkins in any format.
There's really no reason to draft DeAndre Hopkins.
Name value is great, but Rashad Bateman's going to be playing more snaps than him. Zay Flowers is there. Mark Andrews, when likely comes back, he's going to be playing 60%. They're going to give the ball to Derrick Henry. He might catch 7 touchdowns.
If one of the wide receivers gets hurt midseason, that's an opportunity to kind of look ahead and pick him up. But again, I don't think he's going to be relevant, even if
he's going to do what he did last year with KC. 6-7 touchdowns, 600 yards. I'm saying he did it last year.
Yeah,
he's going to catch some touchdowns. It's DeAndre Hopkins. But you never know when to start him.
True.
Give me Cedric Tillman all day over him. A guy that could be thrust into the number 1 role. But yeah, so that's
give me Alec Ayamanor.
Yeah, I like Hopkins in best ball because, like I said, you're not going to know when to start him, but he will catch 5 or 6 touchdowns.
Right.
I feel like.
But why would you take Hopkins when you can take the potential wide receiver 2 for an ascending offense?
And you're probably going to be dropping that spot anyway, most likely after 3 weeks. So take a guy that has upside to be number 1 or 2 in an offense.
Right. I mean, don't be afraid to.
What's your next tip?
This one is very specific, and I never see people doing it. But don't draft kicker and defense. Like, honestly, in any draft, assuming that you can make roster pickups after the draft, before the season starts, there's no reason to draft a kicker or defense, in my opinion.
Unless it's like the Wednesday before the Thursday game.
Well, yeah, okay.
But
even then, like, just take it.
Right, because you have till Sunday, too.
Like, this is a game theory thing. The more information that you have, the more likely you are to make correct decisions down the road. So I like stacking my bench with high upside lottery tickets in case someone gets injured in training camp. And you pick up your kick and your defense right before the respective games. Bear in mind your site's hosting rules. Some sites like lock all transactions on the Thursday game. Most though are before the game starts. So this is a follow-on in-season tip. Pick up the backup running back or even the third string running back for one of the 2 teams playing on Thursday night and drop your kicker or defense early in the week. Pick those guys up, see what happens. More often than not, nothing's going to come of it. And then you just drop that guy and pick up your kicker or defense on Friday, Saturday, or even Sunday morning.
Right. I mean, that's the key, man. Like, especially early drafts. Like, we're talking a week or 2 weeks before the season. Never draft a kicker or defense unless you can get if you can get Denver in the 3rd to last round, something like that, then I would consider it. The kickers, we never know who the best guy is.
I mean, the kicker, there's no point. Denver, it would have to be like, you have to know that Denver is going to be a top 5 scoring offense.
And we never know.
It's very difficult to know.
We never know.
I mean, in season, I have often not picked up a kicker until Sunday night or even Monday night. Now, you got to be careful in your league. They might try to block you. But, like, if there's a high upside backup running back that's playing on Sunday night and it's a close matchup, I might wait until Monday to pick up my kicker and drop that guy just to see if anything happens on Sunday night. In the leagues that I play in, most of them are on Yahoo. They'll allow you to drop a guy that wasn't played or that did play that was on your bench, assuming they weren't in your starting lineup. So you drop one of your bench guys. But yeah, at least in draft season, just don't bother with a kicker or defense because Denver's probably going to go early. Baltimore's probably going to go early.
Way too early, like 10th round.
So just get that Ray Davis on the back of your bench and wait.
Do you remember it was Thursday, so it was the start of the season. Baltimore was playing Sunday, so it was the opening day of the NFL season at like 1:00 p.m. Both Dobbins and Gus Edwards got hurt in practice.
Oh yeah.
Dobbins tore his ACL. I think they both tore their ACL.
What was that guy's name? The
defensive back also.
Yeah.
Too. They lost 3 players for the season.
That was a huge. He never panned out. You remember that? He never panned out, but that was like the big pickup prior to the season.
But just think about that. Like that was the day of technically opening night. Okay. That's why we're saying 2 weeks out, especially 2 weeks out, a week out. I am not drafting kicker or defense. I'm just drafting a guy like Taj Brooks, who is not one of those handcuffs that we're talking about. Like he's not even a top 10 handcuff. But with our last round pick, if Chase Brown gets hurt today, they're going to bring in a guy. But Taj Brooks played in the preseason, 4th round draft capital, kind of comps to Chase Brown. I mean, he was actually technically drafted higher in the NFL draft than Chase Brown was the year prior or 2 years prior. Taj Brooks is the perfect guy because if Chase Brown stays healthy, Wednesday or Thursday before the first game, you just drop Taj Brooks and pick up your kicker.
Perfect.
Pick up Little from the Jags, who kicks 70-yard field goals, who will not be drafted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, this is kind of an obvious one, but know your league settings. Draft. I have people asking me all these questions like, hey, what should I do here? I was like, dude, I need to know everything. Just scoring? Is it PPR? Is the quarterback? Is it 6 for a passing touchdown? Are there bonuses? The bonuses don't matter as much, but things like that. How many bench spots do you have? Because I'm going to draft way differently if I have deep benches or if I don't have deep benches. If it's 4 for a passing touchdown and there's no bonuses, I want a scrambler. I really want a scrambler. Justin Fields screams up my draft board. If it's 6 for a passing touchdown, I'm not drafting Justin Fields. Things like that. That matters. PPR to standard. That matters. Know your league settings.
How many times you get into a draft room and the draft starts, you're 3 picks in, and somebody asks, "Is this PPR or no?"
And actually, I could just tell you, we did our draft. You didn't even know it was an IDP league.
Completely forgot it was an IDP
so
league. Yeah.
You're asking who needs advice. Yeah. This guy needs advice.
I'm not too proud to admit that. Like I make mistakes too, and this is important information to be reminded of every single year.
Do you have one more?
I got one more. It's pretty straightforward, but sometimes people get locked in. Last one is be flexible. So don't be so rigid in your draft strategy that you pass over obvious value. Years ago, I had it in my head that zero RB. I'm going to go 0 RB in this draft. So what that meant is I'm going to take every wide receiver spot plus 2 before I draft my first running back. Yeah. And I passed up on outstanding value of guys that dropped with me because I was so dead set on getting that strategy correct. This year you might be so dead set on hero RB where you draft CMC or Ashton Genty or whatever it is, and you're going to just stack wide receivers for the next 4 rounds.
Or you want to get 2 in a row.
Yeah, but if Chase Brown drops you at the end of the 3rd, right, you're going to pass that up just because you have to get hero RB. It'd be foolish to pass up on that value. So another example, you might always look to draft the onesie positions, QB and tight end late, but if Brock Bowers, who's usually a 2nd-round pick, falls to you in the 3rd, it might make sense to draft your tight end early and adjust your strategy. Look for higher upside running backs and wide receivers later. So don't be so locked in that you're missing out on that value that really falls to you.
All right, my last one is stack your bench. This is a bench and a team building thing. Stack your bench with upside players. Do not take DeAndre Hopkins, for instance. No place on my bench. Never going to use them. Stack your bench with upside players. Handcuff running backs. RBs in ambiguous situations like Tootin. Guys like that, which without the even trade rumors, like we don't know who the starter is there right now. We can speculate and we can go on, the veteran will start, but we don't know. So take guys like that. Rookie wide receivers have been popping off the last 4 years. I don't want to spend up on Egbuka and some of these guys, but Pat Bryant, guys like that who could be the number 2. Alec Iomanner, guys like that who, after 3 weeks, my 16th round pick is probably going to be dropped anyway. But if I see week 1 that Alec Iomanner is playing ahead of Tyler Lockett and he comps as an actual X receiver where Tyler Lockett can't play that, I'm going to keep him. I'm not going to start him, but he has a spot on my bench because let's just say Calvin Ridley goes down and Iomanner's already playing 80% of the snaps and they're 0-4 to start the year. He's going to be out there every snap and Iomanner could be a wide receiver 3.
Right. What are the chances that Pat Bryant's on your roster after week 4? Probably not good.
No.
At the same time, if he is the Michael Thomas heir apparent for the Sean Payton offense, then you want that guy on your bench, right? You don't. DeAndre Hopkins is literally never going to crack your lineup. If a guy isn't in my lineup after 2 or 3 weeks, when looking to pick up players off the waiver wire, I always think about this. Like, if I'm not going to play this guy next week, why am I bothering to pick him up? I get that you might be looking ahead, but I don't need to waste waiver priority on a guy that might turn into something. You want guys that you know have upside. So that's, again, some in-season stuff. But I'm 100% with you. Like, guys like Ayamanor, Kendrick Miller, who's now the, for sure, running back 2 there in a pass-catching friendly running back system. So, yeah, I agree with you. Get some upside, guys. Don't worry about the old guys.
This guy in the chat says Brock's not falling to the third. It was more of an example, but
I mean,
ask me.
I literally drafted Brock Bowers in the third on Saturday night.
He did draft. Yeah, it was a half PPR too.
I get that people are skeptical when you say like, oh, this guy's going here, but like, this is a league of smart dudes, and running backs and wide receivers were being pounded early. I don't think the first quarterback was drafted until round 4, right?
See, in half
no,
PPR,
Josh Allen was in round 2. But anyway, like Brock Bowers, I never take a tight end that early.
Right. But in half PPR, the value. So in the past, right, Kelsey and more so Gronk and Jimmy Graham, their value was touchdowns, so they were actually better in half PPR. Bowers and McBride are actually way better in PPR.
I agree with that.
This year's going to change. Like, they're going to catch more than 2 and 5 touchdowns, right? I think Bowers might have 7 or 8.
7 or 8.
And McBride's going to have 5 or 6.
4 or 5, yeah.
Right? And he could have 7 or 8 too. But in PPR, where are you comfortable taking the tight ends? Actually, that's a good question, because I've seen, it's funny, as Bowers has gone 17, 17, 17, and 17, right as the ADP. Good. All 4 of the PPR drafts I've done, I won't take him there.
I mean, I think I made my stance clear. If the value drops me, I'll take him in the
Where
middle
would
of
you
the third.
take him in a PPR?
Brock Bowers?
Yeah.
In PPR?
The
probably
2-3 turn?
Early third round.
Right, you're not going to get him very often.
And I got a mid-third in this round. I was surprised. But
where would you take Trey McBride in a PPR? Right in the same spot?
Late third.
Oh, so you're not. See, I will take Trey McBride at the turn.
Okay.
And I would probably take Brock Bowers at, like, pick 22.
Okay, so you would still take Bowers over McBride, though, because Bowers is not going to catch as many as McBride.
Might have more catches. He just doesn't have the touchdowns.
No, he's not. He's not going to have more catches.
Well, he did last year, didn't
McBride will have more this year. McBride will have more receptions, but Bowers will have more yards.
Yards and touchdowns.
Yeah.
But I guess the thing for me is, do I want Ladd McConkey or Brock Bowers or Trey McBride? I want those tight ends over Ladd McConkey because I feel like they're going to have the same numbers. I'm not a tight end early guy, hence I'm lower on ADP. Definitely on Bowers, but I think that McConkey's a question, right? Like, we're anointing him as a wide receiver 1.
You want Chuba Hubbard or Brock Bowers?
Well, that's not. I can't believe he went that high. That's so stupid. He's a 4th round pick.
Well, okay. Well, another one.
JSN.
Another
one. You want JSN or McBride?
JSN.
They're going to have the same numbers, though.
I know. Well, I mean, that's the question. JSN's being drafted in the 2nd round.
Yeah, they both go in the same spot where I've been going.
Yeah.
Like, we're on pick 24. So I personally think they're going to have the same
Bowers and McBride are both going in the 2nd round. I would just see if I can get Kittle in the 4th, and if not, I mean, I guarantee you Kittle's going to get steamed up in casual leagues. So then just wait. Get your Tucker Craft, right? Yeah, get your...
I can speak my language, buddy.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right, man. This is a good time. Awesome episode.
Questions?
And I answered them all.
All right, good.
So, pleasure.
There we go.
Good work. Hey, just in time for everyone to get off.
Nice.
There was at least 30 people the whole time. Now it's 5. So, thank you guys.
There was 30 people?
Yeah.
Browers.